Hi everyone. Today I'm recording a session for anyone who would like to learn how to put an offer together using Skyslope. Skyslope is linked with Toronto Real Estate Board. So if we want to use Skyslope to put an offer, we'll come to the listing, we'll take the MLS number, and this is the icon that we will click in. If we are using Realm, it will show where the 9 dots are. You click on that and then you go to Skyslope Forms, just like Skyslope Forms. And then when you click here, it will take you to the portal automatically. This one might not need MLS number. It is usually needed with the web form sometime. Here it automatically pulled it without it. So, but if it does, we'll use it to import the data here. I have noted it down. So when we click on the sign, will be brought to this screen. Here automatically it picked up that we are a buyer side. System is smart, and here it is going to ask us to put the primary buyer's name. So I have some sample information here to put in the buyer side and seller side. That way we can record it and share it with everybody. So we have first name, last name, and the email address of the one buyer. When we have to add another buyer, we'll put the second buyer's name. I'll actually use, just to make it easy, we'll use John buyer and Jane buyer, and then we'll put their email address. If your client happens to be a corporation, then you will click this checkbox here. So now we have two buyers. This is the property address, and it's asking us if we'd like to import the data. That's where that MLS number will come handy. So we'll put that MLS number right here, and it pulled out this listing. So we'll import the data, and similarly like web form, it gave the file name. I'll complete it with the city name here. Now this section down below, it's asking us if we would like to choose any of the templates. If you choose a template, it will help you prepare most of the offer on its own, and it will pick up the forms for you. So we have created templates. So right now we're putting an offer for a freehold property. So the system is very smart. So it gave option for only 4 templates. So if it's a residential condo or a freehold or a commercial property, so we're putting an offer for a freehold property. So we'll pick this template and we'll click create. So what it's doing is it's creating a transaction. See that the challenge with the Skyslope is it does not always go through. So but I know for a fact that it might already have created a template for us. I mean, like the transaction for us. So if I click it now, it may create 2 transactions for me. So this is a glitch with Skyslope. Most of the time I feel they probably will fix it sometime, but this is what happens when we try to do it. We'll try one more time to see if we can create it. Well, the reason it's asking is the file name already exists. See, it's saying it's already created it. So now if it's already created it, we go back to files, and then we click right here on the transaction. So this is, see, but it hasn't picked up the template that we're supposed to pick up. So what we can do is try to manually add it. Now we'll see we are using brokerage template, residential freehold buying. This one, apply. So now it applied. So now we have all the transactions, and file detail, it has also not added the contacts. So what if it was rightly done by Skyslope, then it would have imported those buyers. So we have to manually add the buyers now also. So we'll create a buyer here. The first name was John buyer, and their email address, their home address is also needed because it has to go on form 371. So we need to pick up an address here to go into the client's contact, and then we have to add the second buyer, which is also a buyer right here. So we'll put Jane buyer, and then the email address for the second buyer, we'll put it right here again. We'll put a sample address, and then we'll save. So now we have 2 buyers in the system, and we have created transaction and manually applied the template, right? So now if we go to forms, we'll start with, we need 5 forms. The template carries all the amendments and notice of fulfillment and FinTrack forms that we're not going to need. We need just these 5 forms to begin with. So we'll choose those 5 forms which we have to fill and complete and send it for signature. So we'll pick all those 5 and then fill and send. It will bring us to this screen. See, the difference between Skyslope and web form is that when you start the transaction here, it will automatically keep going to the next form after you have completed one, whereas in web forms you'll have to go back and then open up the second form separately. So we'll go to the page where we'll have to fill out the information for our clients, and because the template had it named, so it already picked up my name. We'll put today's date here, and it didn't pick up the buyer's name, so we'll put buyer's name as John Buyer, and then we'll move to the next form, which is form 371, the brokerage. Well, one thing I think you should know is that we have to go back and add brokerage name also, because we did not add myself in the transaction and the brokerage. There are 4 parties that needs to be added into the transaction: 2 buyers if there are 2, and then the brokerage itself, and then the agent. So we have to add another contact, which is going to be broker, which is Siddharth, Cres, so the brokerage email. See, it picked up now my name. So if I pick up, it automatically picked up my name, and from the system it picked up the brokerage name also. I think we should be good now. So if I go back to envelope, so see, same thing, like if I go back, let's see if it already pulled mine. See, it did not pull the brokerage name. So what we need to do is we need to save and exit. We need to go to forms again, pick up the forms second time, and then fill and send, and then go to the last page of it has the information now. Now let's see it still doesn't show the name of the brokerage. It is supposed to, but we'll fill it. If it doesn't, see, this is gonna happen with you too. Skyslope acts funny sometime, so it's good that it's happening. So you get to learn how to deal with it if the system of putting an offer together doesn't go smooth. So you'll put the brokerage name as Serik Realty. It may pull out right here. So it pulled out. The address of the brokerage should have been here, 5800 Keaton Crescent. So you'll put that in here. So that should show up here. And then the phone number also, if I had put it right here, that will come also right here. And the designated representative, I have to put my name right here. So this if the system works smooth, this should be filled automatically. As if you have seen the video on the web forms, this is supposed to be filled automatically. But if it doesn't, this is how you do it. Now this portion you have to do it manually anyway. You will start your contract with the buyer to see how long it is. For the purpose of this example, we'll do it until the end of May. This is automatically filled for the rest of it. So we're good. Now we move to form 801. 801, you put the date of the contract here today. You will send them email. Irrevocability, if right now it's 11 a.m. almost. So if you think you'll be completing the signature by 1 p.m., you will do like that, and you plan to email today, which will be today. And then irrevocability, if you want to give them, say, 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, so you'll put tomorrow's date here. That's the irrevocability that you will give it to them. And then you will move on to the next form, which is, so here we have to, because the information from MLS probably was not completely filled. So we have the buyers here, the sellers here, so we have to add them also into the transaction. As we added the buyer, we were supposed to add sellers in the beginning also. If we did not, that we can do it now. So if we have 2 sellers, for the sellers we just have to add their name, not their complete information, because that's all we need. So this is the seller's name here. So now we have both of those. This information you will get it from the listing if the property is facing north, east, south, whatever. For the example, I'm just putting north, but this you'll have to put one other direction. This one also you will take it from the listing, if it's a 40 by 100 lot or 50 by 150, whatever, and whatever the legal description of the property that you can get it from Geo Warehouse, that will come here. over here, you will put the offer amount. So if we are putting, say, an offer of, say, $900,000, we'll add that here. Deposit, this is pre-filled. Upon acceptance, we'll give it. If you want to do it differently, like, as otherwise agreed, you can do that also. Deposit is usually 5% of the purchase price. If we put 4,500, and name of the listing brokerage. This one you have to get it from the listing, whichever the listing brokerage is, whatever that the check will be made out to the listing brokerage. And the Schedule B is attached into the listing. So if you have to get a Schedule B, you go to the listing, you go into the attachment document section, and here you can get the Schedule B. So you can get it and you can download it. And it will be saved onto your computer, and then you'll have to upload back here when you are completing for signatures. Irrevocability, we had given them till tomorrow on schedule. On form 801, we had given that time, so that at the same time will have to come here. Closing date, let's say for the example, we put 2 months closing here, 19th of May. And here we have our email address. Here you will put the listing agent at listing, whatever their email address is, for example, realty.ca, whatever the case may be, you'll put that here. Chattel included. This one, you have to make sure whatever is listed on the listing, you copy that and put it here and ask the seller what else is included. You include that here. If anything is excluded, that will go here. Whatever rental items are, that will go here, be it hot water tank, or if there are any more than that, like, furnace or water softener, whatever the case may be. HST is always included in the resale residential properties. Title search dates, usually we keep it for 2 weeks prior to the closing date. So if 19th is the closing date, title search date is 2 weeks. So that gives enough time for the lawyers to check it, and it's not too close to the closing date and not too early, so that something may change on title before closing. So it's about 2 weeks. A residential property is the present use. If the use is condo or residential condo or freehold, be specific if you would like. You can do that there. The rest of it is pre-printed clauses here, and this is also pre-printed. These are the terms that are added onto the template. It is recommended that you carefully read it and understand it, what you are putting an offer to seller for. I'll briefly go through these terms for your better understanding, but you can include anything that you would like and your buyer wants to add that onto it. You can add it below here, and if you end up adding like even more clauses, Skyslope will automatically add more pages if you go beyond the limit of this page. So these terms, the first one talks about how the buyer plans to pay the balance of payment. Second one is about the condition about the financing satisfactory to buyer. Third one is inspection satisfactory to buyer. Fourth one is that they'll be allowed to go 2 times before closing for buyer's visit. The next one over is that the sellers, it's kind of a statement from seller that they don't want retrofit status of the basement. And then the seller agrees to leave the property in broom swept condition. The chattel and fixture included in agreement will be in good working condition and free of lien and encumbrance on completion. Then it talks about the seller representative warrants that to best of their knowledge, the property is not stigmatized. And then the seller warrants that the property never had fire and water damage. The seller and the purchaser understand and agree that all permanent fixture which have been attached to the property will be there upon completion. Because sometimes sellers tend to remove it with an understanding that they thought they'll take it with them. So it's a good idea to put it in here. The buyer to this agreement acknowledge that the broker and brokerage and their sale representative, whose names are in here, have recommended that the parties, like buyers and other involved parties, seek their own legal advice, because obviously we're not licensed to give legal advice. So we recommend them to take their own legal and tax and environmental opinions from the experts. The seller representative warrants that during the time that they own the property, the building and the structure has not been used for growth of illegal substances. And then this talks about electronic signatures, that they're okay with it. And the last one talks about that this best of seller's knowledge, there is no outstanding pending work order from any legal, like city or municipality or any government authority. And then we move on to the commission form. This is pre-filled with the seller not representing the buyer, and the bottom talks about the cooperating brokerage, they're the designated representative, and that the cooperating brokerage will be paid by the listing brokerage. And this is the amount that you should always double check it with the listing itself. It's more or less, you should adjust it accordingly. So this is all for the forms that we had added from the template, but now we have to add schedule B. How we do that on this page, we add a form here. From our computer, we upload a document, and then we just bring it right here into the same transaction. So now we have this form also, but this is not fillable. So we'll go, when we move to the prepare signature page, that's where we will complete it. So now we move on to prepare signature page. Here it talks about John will be signing, Jane will be signing, and Sadakat. It says, see, what it has done is it has added me one as an agent and one which I manually added. So I need to sign it just once, right? So the system is Skyslope sometimes acts funny. So this is what they have done it. So it's only I'm doing it one signature for myself, and this is just to fill out the name on the documents. So when we go to the next page, it will take us to the Digisign portal, as the Digisign was for the other one. So you can see there are 3 signatory here who will be signing. So but the way we do the signing, we go to the page. So if we go to the last page, see, this one did not automatically pick it, so we have to put signature for all 3 parties. So this is the selected party right now, so we click signature and we click on John, we bring here, and then we put date here, and then we change it to Jane, and then we click again, we bring it to Jane, then we click it like that, and then we go to Sadakat, and then we click it again, click it here, and then this is done. Okay, and then you move on to this one. The system automatically picked where to sign on this next form and the next form and see, and on here web form doesn't automatically pick this signature, but it did for this one. Schedule A is initialed, and then the form 801 is initialed, agreement of purchase and sale is initialed, this is initialed, this is initialed. See, this also actually added my name here. Web form doesn't do it, this one here, so good thing it added here automatically. This one is added, this one is added, good, and this one is in cooperation form, done, excellent. So schedule B, as you can see, this is, so we have to add buyer's name, seller's name. So the way we do it, we pick buyer with full name and then click here, and then we put the second buyer and then put full name and then put it here, and then we go to text, then we put this text form here, and then we put and sign there. Okay, so we do it like that here, and then we go again one more time, text box, we put it right here, and then here we put seller's name. So the seller's names are Sam Seller and Rose Seller. So Sam Seller and Rose Seller. So if you have to make it either big or small, see, if you keep clicking, it's going to keep adding more, so you have to delete it and then make it slightly bigger, and it will make it bigger. And then if you do it like that, and now you have to put the property address also, so you put another checkbox right here like that, and then the property address is 17 Rollingwood Drive, Brampton. 17 Rollingwood Drive, Brampton. So you'll put postal code also. I'll put L6Y4G5. So that's like that. You notice that it's already filled. If you have to make it fit right, you'll do it like that. And now for dates, this is what I usually do. So you click on date, you pick the name, you put one name here, then change the name. So everyone will see a date, not only one person. Okay. So initials, so both have to initial, one initial, and then you go and change second initial. Okay. So this is done. So once it's completed, if you ever have to have someone review, like for example, if I want to have somebody else who is not part of the contract, and you have to have, for example, your broker of record review the form or something like that, you can always add it and then add the recipient here and add more people to sign. And then you will click send, and this doesn't create automatically subject. So I usually do is offer documents for e-signing, and then I'll put like that. And then you can write an email here to your client. Hi, please find attached documents for your review and completion. Please confirm once. So here, if the spelling mistakes are there, you can use AI here. They're gonna fix it for you, and then you send it for signature, and it goes. So now it has been sent to your clients for signature. As you can see, one of the draft was there which we left in between, and the second one. So this one we can delete the draft, and now we are left. If we open up, you can see that it still is pending from signature. It's not still done. Nobody has signed it. So what we have to do is, once it's completed, you will if you come to sign document, you don't see any signed document. Once it's completed, you will see them here. And then similarly, like web forms, you'll have to download only 3 forms. 371 and Rico Guide will go to office, 2 forms will go to office, and 3 forms will go to listing agent. So I'll pause the video and then complete it and come back and show you how it looks, and you'll see they'll start showing up right here. Okay, now that all parties have signed the documents, you can see that the documents have started showing up in that signed documents, and you can see the envelope has been completed. If you click on here, you'll see that it's completed. And if you click on sign document, so now what you have to do is form 100, schedule B, commission form, and form 801. This will go to listing brokerage, form 371 and Rico Guide. So what you do is you select these, you download, and then you send it to the back office. And if you want to put together one file, you click all these, download, or you could share here directly by email and send it to listing agent. And once you send it, make sure that you follow up with them and ensure that they have received it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to help, and I hope this was a valuable information for you, and good luck.